Since the end of World War I in 1918, the United Kingdom has been involved in several wars where many people have lost their lives trying to defend us. This is why, on the 11th of November of every year, at 11 o'clock, we have 2 minutes of silence to remember the soldiers who died in all of those conflicts.
Firstly, in June 1914, the largest war the world had ever seen began due to all of the empires in Europe going to war over the assassination of an Austrian Archduke. The United Kingdom was brought into the war after Germany invaded Belgium so it could get to France.
The conflict caused 20 million people, both civilian and soldiers, to die worldwide. The United Kingdom lost over 887,000 soldiers by the end of the war, many being lost in battles such as the bloody Battle of the Somme or the many Battle of the Ypres.
The Second World War began in September 1939 after the German invasion of Poland, ordered by the leader of Germany at the time, Adolf Hitler.
After Hitler had already annexed other surrounding countries like Austria and Czechoslovakia, the Prime Minister of Britain, Neville Chamberlain, declared war to prevent further expansion by Germany.
The Second World War is the bloodiest conflict in the entire history of the planet, causing the deaths of 64 million people across the globe, from the UK, France and America to China, India, and Russia, among many other countries.
In 1950, the state of North Korea invaded its southern neighbour, South Korea, in an attempt to conquer it. In response to the alleged invasion, the United Nations, the international organisation including almost all of the world's countries, decided to assemble a military force of some of its members, predominantly America, UK and France, among many others, to defend South Korea.
The conflict ended after 3 years of fighting with an armistice with North Korea. As a whole, the conflict led to deaths of over 3 million people and saw some of the fierce fighting from both sides as they fight to defend the countries they want to preserve.
The Falklands War in 1982, after many years of Argentina claiming the islands, they invaded the Falkland Islands and South Georgia Island in order to annex them from the UK. In response to the invasion, Prime Minister at the time, Margaret Thatcher, ordered for the islands to be retaken. 74 days after the original invasion, the islands were retaken from the Argentinians, resulting in 255 British servicemen and 3 civilians being killed in the conflict.
The United Kingdom took part in the Gulf War from January to February 1991 with the coalition of 35 nations that was led by the United States. The coalition formed in response to the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, with the goal of freeing Kuwait and to curb the Iraqi aggression.
The armed conflict began in mid-January and lasted until late February, seeing the liberation of Kuwait and the push into Iraq itself. The conflict, the UK deployed 53,500 soldiers, of which 47 lost their lives.
In 2001, the United States and its allies, which included the United Kingdom, invaded the Taliban-led Emirate in Afghanistan and created a UN-supported government to stabilise Afghanistan. However, after fierce resistance of many years, this This year the Taliban have regained control of Afghanistan, and US and UK forces have withdrawn from the country. The total fatalities for British personnel in the conflict is over 460.
The Iraq War lasted from 20th of March 2003 to 15th of December 2011. The war was started after intelligence had stated that Iraq was building chemical weapons and weapons of mass destruction. So, as a result, the United States formed a coalition which mainly consisted of itself and Great Britain, among other countries, and invaded Iraq with the goal of seizing the weapons and overthrowing the leader of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. The war ended after 8 years with the replacement of Saddam Hussein and the deaths of 179 British soldiers.
I hope you've enjoyed this Remembrance Day media project that cadets from 1803 Hucknall Squadron have proudly put together over the last few parade evenings. I'm very grateful to the efforts of Cadet Sergeant Moss and Cadet Corporal Radford, who have been responsible for the development of this and the filming. And I'm also appreciative of the efforts of Warrant Officer Carr, who came up with the concept and has completed the final editing.